Welcome to this video series on the Forestry Career Development event as part of the Oregon FFA Career Development Pathway. The Forestry CDE is a key event in Oregon, especially given the impact and the opportunity the forest industry provides in agriculture and natural resources. In this first video, we'll cover timber cruising, specifically how to measure tree diameters. Tree diameter is essential for calculating volume in board feet, which is why it's our starting point. We'll use those numbers for management of forests, as well as the business and economical aspect of timber management. We'll walk through two different tools approved for use in the CDE, explain what timber cruising is, and show how to use those tools effectively. Let's get started.
I'm Jerry Risk. I'm a forester with Roseburg Forest Products. As a forester, it's my job to reforest our timberlands post-harvest and recently in a lot of the past years post-wildfire. But what that entails is just land management. So we're coming in and preparing the site after harvest for replanting and reforesting to meet our legal obligations according to the Oregon Forest Practices Act, and also get that land back into production to grow the next generation of timber for future generations. Cruising as a whole, it's kind of take a big step back and think about it in terms of age classes. So as a forester, we're monitoring our stands from age 1 through 5. And during that 5-year time span, we're taking different measurements like heights, diameters, survival, and that data is all extrapolated out to our inventory team. At age 5, that's when we're really doing the first real robust, what you guess we could say as a cruise. We call it a 5-year free to grow exam, where we're taking, again, those heights and diameters. And that all goes in and populates a growth model. We don't start doing actual inventory of our timberlands until they're about age 10. And that's when we're out there and we're really starting to get in the weeds. The tools that we use when we're cruising our stands of timber are a laser to gather tree height. We're using a diameter tape to measure tree diameter. We're also using increment borers to gather age data on the trees as well.
The diameter is found by measuring the tree at what we call diameter at breast height, or DBH. In this case, a logger's tape with a diameter size being used to go all the way around the tree, which will then give us the actual diameter of that tree. We can see where 0 is, and we can see it's between, in this case, the even numbers of 16 and 18. If we were recording down to the nearest even inch, we'd record 16. If we wanted to record it to the nearest inch, we would record 17, when in fact the diameter might be actually 17.5. Another key step is that when we find this diameter at breast height, or DBH, we do it from the uphill side of the tree. In this case, we can see that the tree is being measured starting from the uphill side at that 4.5 feet. And then as the tree is getting measured, we keep that tape as level as possible. So it's really perpendicular to the bole of that tree. We want to make sure that's the case because that'll give us the most accurate reading when we do that. It is going to be key that we actually keep our tape level and perpendicular to the bole of the tree when we take this measurement. Here we can see that being at an angle, it's going to take more tape. It's going to give us a higher than actual reading, and it'll be inaccurate. Finally, once we have that measurement, we'll record it onto our answer page. Let's look at one more example. Here you can see the 0 mark falls between 24 and 26. Notice that 24 is on the right and 26 is on the left. Notice the direction the tape is reading. When recording to the nearest even inch, we would round down, so we'd record this as 24. Even though it's more than halfway to 26. In forestry cruising, because we're projecting what the volume is going to be, we're going to measure conservatively, and we're going to record that as the lower number. Another method that can be used to find diameter is called the Biltmore stick. Biltmore stick is a specialized stick that can be used with the eye and will be used from 25 inches away. Another version might be called the tree scale stick. In order to do this, we stand with our eye 25 inches away from the tree, and we align this perpendicular to the tree and can get a reading. We then do this one more time by going 90 degrees around the tree and taking a second reading. And we'll average those two readings because the tree might not be perfectly circular. It might be more oval or oblong. So what do we mean when we say take a reading? Here we can see that from this point of view, that this Biltmore stick is lined up on the left-hand side on the edge of the tree, and then we would look on the right-hand side to where our eye hits the actual edge of the tree on the Biltmore stick. In our first example, we can see that it's just over 17 inches. As we take a look at a second example, we can read that, and we can see that with it lined up on the left with the brass end at the edge of the tree, we look to the right, not by turning our head, but just by moving our eyes, we can see that the edge of the tree lines up right there or just past the 24-inch mark. And that would give us our reading from that side of the tree. We would then turn around 90 degrees, do a second reading, and then we would have our actual diameter by using the Biltmore stick. This skill, measuring tree diameter, is part of the Timber Cruising Practicum in the Forestry Career Development event. Since we can't just cut down trees to measure across the trunk, this is a practical, real-world method for getting accurate diameter measurements. It's the first step in calculating the board foot volume of a tree. In the CDE, you'll measure 5 different trees using either a diameter tape or a Biltmore stick. At the National CDE, only the Biltmore stick is allowed. In the next video, we'll cover how to find the height of a tree, convert that into logs, and then in the third video, we'll walk through calculating total board feet.